Okay. So today is our last day. Um I'm going to miss you for sure the upcoming days. I was so happy to have you in my training, all of you. For the assignments, just a kind note that you have until the end of the week, so no problem. I know that you are committed in your work. In a tight schedule, etc. But I need them يعني before the weekend if possible, or on Saturday maximum if possible. So for those who didn't yet submit the assignments of all the days, okay, for today we don't have any assignment. So for day one and for day two, okay, just a kind note for Morgan, who is not attending as well, so she can listen back to the recordings. I don't know if she is going to join today. So today I'm going to just give me 1 minute. So we're going to finalize the presentation, and then we are going to okay, now you can see the presentation, right?
Not yet.
Not yet. Okay, so give me a sign when it's on your screen. I will share it again. This problem in sharing. Now you're fine.
Yes.
Okay, great. So for today, yesterday we closed the session by telling you how usually we do the closing meeting. For today, for sure, for the internal auditor, the audit will not finish on the day at the premises. So he is still or she still has to do many tasks at home, reviewing the checklist, rewriting the report, reviewing how she wrote the comment, or how he wrote the comment. So here we have many, if you want, tasks to be done post audit. The preparation of the finalization of the checklist, because we already started filling the checklist on premises. The finalization of the checklist is a post activity task. There we should each item by item review the checklist and say, is it conforming, is it non-conforming? And we still need to put a lot of evidences there in the boxes of the comment or of the evidence. And then we need to prepare what is called an audit report. Audit report, I will show you today some templates. So the audit report is the summary of the checklist done, in which the auditor presents a general view on the ongoing activity of the audit, and he will summarize all the findings, all the nonconformities, all the observation he want to write. And then we sign the report with any signature to confirm that this is a final and official report. And after this, we will send the report by email to the auditee or to the food safety team leader. And here, our activity will be, if you want, 90% done. We still have sometimes in some organization, if you want, the approval of the internal auditor on the closure of the non-conformities. If you remember yesterday when I showed you the NC report, I showed you a part mentioning the signature of the auditor when he will be approving what was done in order to correct the non-conformity or what is planned to be done, etc., etc. So and he can have a look on the action plan. Action plan is a detailed plan prepared by the company itself, showing all the issues raised by the internal auditor and how the company is planning to close them. Okay, so this is for today. We are going to see all this, and I'm going to, I already checked your assignments, Paul and Sarah. They are excellent. I will reply to you regarding my comments by email. So I will not share them, not to influence Sarah and Morgan if you want a report. So I will not be sharing them. So just to let some free space for Sarah and Morgan to think themselves about the questions to be raised for the two assignments of yesterday. Okay, so so Paul and Sarah, you'll get my feedback by email, but in general, your questions are very clear. Your questions are excellent. I know you can ask more and more and more, but this is enough. If you want, you raised open questions, so by which you can obtain a lot of information. So good, thank you for your inputs. And I'm going to show you at the end of the course today some practical tips for conducting the internal audit. Some not practical tips, meaning not something written in a standard or somewhere else. Those are by experience for to be more friendly, to be a good internal auditor. And we will finalize today's session and the course by presenting, I guess, 4 or 5 case studies, and we will discuss them together, okay? So this will not be an assignment, so we will present the case studies and you will tell me, we will discuss the case studies together during the session. Okay, so I will proceed with day 3. Okay, so the audit report and the corrective action. As I told you yesterday, the audit report is a summary, and directly I will show you the examples of audit report templates, like I showed you yesterday, templates for checklists, templates for procedures, etc. So in the audit report, you will list all the non-conformity. Sometime the corrective action sometime is there, sometimes it is left to be mentioned in the no, in the audit report, the corrective action is not there. You have a form, NC form, mentioning the corrective action as we discussed yesterday. So the report is just a template summarizing all the findings, NCs, and observations or areas for improvement. So you will be listing the function, the procedure applied, the standard, the reference, the name of the auditor, the causes of nonconformity, sometimes the action taken, the pilot, the due date, and the signature of the audit. I'm going to show you now directly some forms. Of the audit report. So share. Now I guess you are seeing my screen. We will go back to the training, and you will see directly the so tell me when it's available for you. Yes, you can see the Word document.
For me, not yet.
Not yet.
Okay. Now? Yes?
Yes, now.
Okay. So sometimes you do not see this report. Okay, and sometimes some organizations they will if you want, they will only apply checklist, and from the checklist directly, they will be performing the action plan. Some companies do implement and do have internal audit reports. So as I told you, it is the decision of the company. It is similar to the procedure, how we write the procedure. It is a separate procedure or it is part of a manual. The decision is here depend on the company. So فيكم تكونوا عم تعملوا checklist only ومنها تطلع دغري الاكشن بلان، او فيكم تكونوا عم تعملوا an internal audit report as an intermediate if you want task to be done between checklist and action plan. Why I prefer doing an internal audit report? Because sometimes you have many NCs, many findings from the standard coming under one sector or under one non-conformity. For example, many findings related to personal hygiene. You can join them in one NC. The procedures need to be updated. This is a documentation issue. So you will not mention HR procedure, purchasing procedure. So you will, if you want, you will categorize what was found in the checklist, and then you will prepare this report. So بتقسموهم بتجمعوهم categories وبتخلوا الانسي يطلعوا a little bit generic مع details بقلبهم انه واحدة اثنين ثلاثة وصلتني تقول انا انه the personal hygiene need to be reconsidered, the infrastructure كمان, etc. etc. So internal audit report, here you will mention the number 1 2 حسب اذا انتم ماشيين بسيكونس من السنين اللي قبل، من وقت ما بلش السيستم فيها تكون صارت نمبر 11 حسب قد صار له كم سنه etc etc. So هون الانترنال audit number depends on the company. If you choose to place the number by a year يمكن يكون first، إذا واحد عندكم بالسنة بيكون internal audit number 1 مثل ما سارة كانت عاملة مقسمته على كذا يوم بس جامعته، مثل ما كان عامل بول كان مقسمه على كذا شهر. So يمكن internal audit يكون numbering غير. So it depends. The date of the internal audit preparation, your name as auditor, the schedule date and the completion date. Sometimes you can schedule the audit وبتكون في variation, sometimes بيكونوا same date. والأفضل أكيد يكون the completion date like the schedule date. Number of non-conformities, you will mention them here. ده طلع معكم non-conformity. A general conclusion about the internal audit progress. هون إجمالا بتقولوا إذا كان الأوديت smooth بتقولوا the audit was very smooth, the employees were very cooperating, we did a site tour, etc. etc. So بتحكوا شوي عن الانترنال audit progress. General conclusion about the effectiveness بتقولوا هون your general idea أنه the system is very well implemented, the system is partially implemented, procedures are up to date, procedures are need verification, needs up. يعني هون بتحكوا إذا بدكم on grow عن السيستم والimplementation تبعه. هون بالاوديت findings رح تبلشوا one by one. NC1 هيك ترجع NC2 شو طلع معنا NC3 etc. وبترجعوا آخر شيء بتطلعوا بقصص خاصة بالobservations أو areas for improvement. So those are not NCs, those are issues to be ameliorated. Then you place your name, you can place for sure your signature and the date of the report preparation اللي هي similarly to هيدي. ليه بنحط الديت هون؟ إجمالا لأنه next to each signature بنحط date. So report prepared by حنان بحط السيجنتشر تبعي تحتها وبحط الديت تبعها. Okay, so so this can be done and cannot be done. So it's your decision. If you want to have an internal audit report, if the procedure is mentioning this, you should be having an internal audit report. If the procedure is not mentioning this and is directly moving from checklist to action plan, I'm going to show you the action plan, so it's okay, no problem. Okay, so here, this is the action plan. This is an example. It is an Excel document. Can you see it?
Yes, I can see it.
Yes, so بتكون كمان logo, internal audit action plan, the code, etc. prepared by the internal auditor or by the food safety team leader. إجمالا food safety team leader. شو بيعمل food safety team leader? بيحط هون all the non-conformities، يعني هون بهيدا الcolumn A and B he will be filling all the NCs يلي شفناهم وين بالchecklist أو بالريبورت إذا عنا ريبورت. So أول internal auditor بيطلع أو internal auditor أو food safety team leader بيروح على one second. بيروح على التشيك ليست بالكولن يلي بعدكم شايفين على السكرين، بالكولن يلي ان سي مخطوشه، يعني طلع عنا اكس على الان سي، بيكون طلعوا عنا هول هن النون كونفورميتيز بينكتبوا بهيدي الكولن. action, what is the action? It is what to be done in order to close this non-conformity. For example نقول شي non-conformity معقول تكون طلعت whatever type of
Past
non-conformity.
and past.
For example, past presence inside أو during the site tour. أوكي، يعني شفنا يمكن نحن شو بعرفني برغشة، شفنا fly whatever type of pest، هيدي it is a non-conformity. Action to be taken شو معقول تكون يا بول؟
To add traps
يمكن تكون to add a traps، بس إذا نحن
بالفاسيلتي.
مضبوط إذا نحن عاملين outsourcing it is to be usually what this is the case we outsource هول القصص بكل، يعني أنا ولا company رحت عليها a production restaurant catering they do the pest control so they outsource this activity. So فيها تكون الأكشن directly get in contact with the pest control company. Okay. And to find a solution for this problem. For example, the solution might be add more حسب شو traps or whatever. Okay. مين responsibility? It is usually the responsibility of the food safety team leader اللي هو بيكون in direct contact with the pest company. يمكن يكون حدا تاني إذا نحن مسلمين ال external communication لحدا حسب ال procedure of external communication لحدا تاني هو يتابع بقلب الكومباني، هو يتابع الكونتاكت مع البست كومباني، هو he will be responsible for this issue. due date إذا كان الأوديت ب 15 لازم نعمل هيدا الشيء لأنه it's something dangerous أو maximum the second day بعتقد immediate action the same day action. نحن اليوم مثلا 17 so 17/7/2024 the status when you close this non-conformity you will place done. When this non-conformity is in progress you will place in progress here، يعني بعد ما تسكرت. so ما فيكم تشوفوا something due مثلا ب 15/7 يعني من يومين ويكون بعده in progress، بده يكون أكيد done. Okay, so هيدي هي إذا بدكم a simplified internal action audit action plan to close all the non-conformities coming from the internal audit. فيها تكون على system شباب وصبايا. Meaning what? إنه طلعت non-conformity من ال internal audit. The QC, the food safety team leader and the QC department, they have a system application يمكن تكون أو whatever. They register in it a form. بيكون filling a form for each non-conformity detailing the corrective action مين مسؤول عنها إذا تسكرت هيدي الأكشن yes or no. Okay, so it is a simple action plan to be able to track all the non-conformities coming from the internal audit performed at the premises. Okay, so I will not save this is just an example for you. I will check if I have هيدا شو I presented yesterday the NC, right? NC report format. Yes, I guess yes. Yes. Oh. Let me check here. Okay, so action plan is done. IANC internal audit report as well and NCR example. Great. So now we will go back to our presentation. So just 1 second. Okay, so a nonconformity, what is a nonconformity? A nonconformity is a failure to meet any requirement. So failure to comply with the standard, failure to comply with the procedure, failure to implement a process or another documented requirement, failure to comply with the LibNor standards, like this is what I mean by mentioning implement a legal requirement. Failure to comply for the standard, the procedure, any legal the requirement, the process يعني هن documented يعني هن procedures finally at the end of the day. So nonconformities are classified into major and minor nonconformities. When they affect the operation and the system, we call them major nonconformities. When not, we can call them minor nonconformity. So it is just a failure to meet a requirement, but it is not directly affecting the operation and the system. So I showed you the corrective action, the example of the action plan that is to be done and to be filled for each non-conformity. So when we talk about all practicalities for successful internal audit, first of all, the communication is very important. And I told you about some resistance coming from the lack of communication between the team, the quality team, and the food safety team and process owners. So we should communicate as food safety team with all process members on behalf of the internal auditor قبل ما يجي على الشركة. We should pass the plan. وإذا كان internal audit يعني performed by an internal team, the communication will be more efficient. يعني we pass the plan to our colleagues in an official way مش بنكون لاقيينهم بالكافات أو بالرestaurant. نحن عنا internal audit عندكم بعد يومين. لا. So officially with an email, we pass the plan and we reconfirm close to the date. We should inform them at least 3 weeks ahead, 2 weeks ahead, maybe 1 month ahead. And before 1 or 2 or 3 days, we will call back and to confirm again the date of our internal audit. Even if we get an approval, a written approval 1 month ago, we tend to reconfirm again when we are close to the date of the audit. Okay, so imagine you send the plan beginning of July, informing them that beginning of August, the internal auditor will be there. So at the end of July, for example, 26, 27, or whatever, 3 days before the audit date, we will call back again, or we will send a reminder again to all process owners, confirming their presence another time to the internal audit. But this time, this is just a reminder. We will not wait for their confirmation, for their back confirmation. So the first time when we send the plan, we wait for their approval. If they didn't approve, we call or we send another email. So this is beginning of July, and closer to the date of the audit, we will send a friendly reminder regarding the date. Always when you are an internal auditor, audit yourself, audit others as you would like to be audited. So do not take if you want the position of know-it-all auditor. Always be open to listen to all what is said by the process owners. So Atul, remember that you are there for 1 day, but this is their operation. So they are there for 10 days, for 10 years, 1 year, maybe few months, but they know more than you in their operation. So you are there in order to listen to what they are doing and then to raise to raise issues, to appraise their work, etc. So do not take the attitude, you know, I am the auditor, I know everything. No, this is not the real case. Okay. Just 1 second. Excuse me. Excuse me for the continuous interruptions, but when you have kids, this is always the case. Okay, so shouting on the door, requesting every time something new. Okay, so sorry for interrupting you 2 times. You should be meticulous to all the details. You should provide value-added findings. So for sure, list what you visualized on site, but give them something as a added value to their work. Don't be negative. يعني الترمينولوجي اللي بنستعملها ما تكون انه يي مثلا لا مش هيك بتنعمل القصص. دونك على طول فينا نقول الكومنتات تبعنا بشكل positive. As I told you, terminology كتير مهمة when we are auditing. Remove fear from the audit process. This is very important. Have always a smiling face. Let the others perceive you as an auditor who is down to earth, knowing what is done on site. So this will remove the fear from the auditor. Provide an effective corrective action plan. So when the food safety team leader will send you the action plan for revision, ensure that this action plan is effective. For sure, and from the beginning of the training, I was telling you to raise non-conformity against systems, against processes, against procedures, against flow of work, operations, etc., not against people. For sure, this operation is done by human resources, but when we raise a non-conformity, it's not against Paul or against Tara or against Morgan or against me. It is against the system and the operation of the system. Okay, clear?
Yes, clear.
Here, okay. So this is as for the presentation. I will now pass. No, we will not do this in Teams. We will discuss this in all together. I will read the case, or someone will read the case. I will give you 2-3 minutes to or 5 minutes to think about the case and to tell me. So each case I will be presenting a potential problem or an actual problem. So you will think about, is there any non-conformance in this case? If yes, what is the nonconformist? What is your supporting objective evidence to tell us that this is a nonconformist? Which clause is it referring to? Which clause? Is there any additional evidence or information you need as an internal auditor to decide that this is a nonconformity, yes or no? So basically, we will read the case. I will give you 5 minutes. The answer after the 5 minutes will be, is there in this case any nonconformity? If no, it's okay, so no nonconformity. If yes, what is the nonconformity? Why you decided to raise this as a nonconformity? And which clause of the standard is related to this nonconformity? And if you're not 100% sure, as an auditor, would you request some additional information to prove your decision, whether it is a non-conformity, yes or no? Okay, so clear for what is to be done?
Yes.
Okay, so case number 1. Paul, can you read the case for all of us, please?
The auditor noticed smoke pouring over the area. There was a large bonfire burning outside. The auditor asked the director if the bonfire is of regular occurrence. He said it was, but there was nothing they could do about it, as the premises next door were not owned by them. The auditor noticed that there was smoke covering its item in the yard areas around the factory.
Excellent, Paul. So I will read it again for you. The auditor noticed a smoke pouring over the area, over the industry or the restaurant or whatever. There was a large bonfire burning outside the premises. So the auditor asked the director if the bonfire is of regular occurrence. He said it was, but there was nothing they could do about it as the premises next door were not owned by them. The auditor noticed that there was smoke covering items in the yard area around the factory. So I will give you 5 minutes. Think about the question. Is there any nonconformity? Yes or no? If there is a nonconformity, what is the nonconformity? Which clause? And do you need further information to make your final decision? Yes or no? Okay, when someone is ready, please raise your hand or give me a sign with the uh, emojis there. Okay, I'm here with you. Excuse me. Hey, auditors. Yes, someone is ready to tell me what do you think about this?
Yes.
يلا go ahead Paul. بالعربي رحت انت على محل
Okay.
لقيت فيه سموك برا على مصنع معمل اتسترا. شفت انه في بون فاير برا، سألت العالم هونيك قالوا لك انه ايه على طول بتصير، بس انه احنا ما فينا نعمل شيء لانه انه هيدي مش لنا، هيدي للجيران تبعنا. سو لاحظت انت كاوديتور انه في سموك على قصص بقلب اليارد اريا يلي هي around the factory. What do you think?
اوكي، اول شيء هيدي الان سي بالكلوز نمبر 8 تبع الهاندلينج اوف emergencies and incidents 842
اوكي
8.4.2.
ليتر رح ارجع اشوف. اوكي شو برأيك انت
آه، بلا هيدا NC اكيد لانه it's chemical contamination على ال products تبع الكومباني، يعني تبع الشركة المصنع.
اوكي سارة. سارة شو رأيك؟ سارة وسارة شو رأيكم؟
Okay, so أنا بقول it is an NC. The supporting evidence إنه they said that إنه it's a regular occurrence and they can't do anything about it. And حطيت إنه for the clause هو تبع ال PRP's location of the premises. إذا additional evidence or information needed before a non-conformance to be confirmed. حطيت إنه for example لنشوف إذا ال windows they are closed جوا بالpremise، شو هن ال items اللي محطوطين outside، إنه نتأكد منهم شو هن، وإذا في مثلا any air pressure كرمال to isolate البرا عن جوا.
اوكي excellent both of you. يعني بول فتح لي نظري على كلوز تانية، بس أنا بشوفها مثل سارة إنه بقلب ال PRPs، لأنه PRPs should be very well monitored. وبالتكنيكال شيت كمان كلوز 4.2 بتقلنا إنه the food production should not be carried out in areas where potentially harmful substances could enter the product. انتبهوا. بس بما انه هي outside the company فينا نطلب further information، نشوف. هلا اكيد better not to have this bonfire, better to talk to them، لانه على طول environment next to our company should be very clean. بس تنتأكد أكتر مثل ما قالت سارة إنه we should check if the smoke is entering the industry. يعني بنشوف الويندوز، يمكن نتأكد من الفنتيليشن اتسترا اتسترا. سو هيدي بتكون further step. بس انه it is finally something to be corrected for sure. وكمان هي الريفرنس هي الكلوز 8.2 يلي بالستاندرد يلي بتحكي اكيد عن ال PRPs، وكمان بالتكنيكال شيت مثل ما قلت لكم 4.2. وكمان مثل ما قلت بول فيها تكون هي بس ذكرني بأي كلوز قلت فوق 8.
Clause number 8.
8.4.
Clause number 8.2. 8.4.2 handling of emergencies and incidents.
كمان could be بس بما انه هي انه regular occurrence بول لازم يكونوا اعتبروها هن كemergency من اول مرة واخذوا فيها action. عرفت؟ يعني اكثر
Yes.
المفروض تكون انحلت من قبل اذا نحن بدنا نعتبرها كemergency، بس هي على طول عم بتصير هيدا الشيء. يعني الانفايرمنت كله حوالين البريميسز لازم نرجع ناخذ اذا بدكم بعين الاعتبار هيدا الموضوع. رح اعطيكم اكزامبل. مثلا انا مره كنت باوديت، كانت بتتذكروا في مشكلة الزبالة من شي 2 أو 3 أو ما بتذكر، إنه صاروا البلديات ما يلموا الزبالة ويتراكموا زبالة على الطرقات ببيروت بجونة. أكيد بتتذكروا. مرة رحت على أوديت إنه حد الفاسيلتي براميل الزبالة ما في يخبركم على الأرض وهيك وهيك. طب إنه هيدي أنا